of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleburne, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleburne, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleburne, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleburne, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angelo Rocha. You're listening to Vet for Vets, a show where we take local veterans and we interview them. We talk about their life before, during, and after their military service. We try to spotlight them. We try to showcase them. We've had veterans from all walks of life here. And today I actually have a special co-host. He's been here quite a few times because he is special. Special. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my friend and veteran, disabled veteran, Bobby Riley.
Hey, what's up, motherfuckers?
Well, today we have a special show where we are trying something new as veterans. We want to get our frustrations out about our current administration, of what they're doing to destroying the pretty much the nuclear family and us, which impacts us, the veterans. So I'm sure everybody has heard, or if you haven't already, we fully support the LGBTQ community, plus and everything else. We support them. But the American flag is the number one flag in our country. And today I woke up this morning with the White House, pretty much basically the central hub of American freedom, is flying the rainbow flag right next to our American flag. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what their intentions are, but there's certain rules. There's certain ways to go about it. For example, here in Texas, when you're flying a flag, the only flag that flies at the same level as the American flag in Texas is the Texas flag. You can. It's literally the only flag out of any state that can fly at the same level as the American flag. So if you live in Idaho, Montana, whatever state you're from, your flag is typically a little bit lower than the American flag because our American flag supersedes everybody's flag except for Texas flag. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I don't remember what it was for, but that's how it goes. What's happening right now is you have these people that are absolutely gutless and following the law and order and how things are supposed to go. There's nothing wrong with flying your rainbow flag next to the American flag as long as it follows the protocol, which is lower than the American flag. What are your thoughts about this, Bobby?
I don't think that the White House should be flying not rebel shit. Dan,
They might as well.
I've been thinking back in
They might
history
as
while you
well.
were giving your monologue there.
They might as well do it.
The rainbow flag. I don't see any purpose in that. There's no reason to do that. You want to fly the POW MIA flag. You want to fly particular branches, but there's no reason to fly the rainbow flag there. I mean, you're kowtowing to a movement instead of trying to have I can't think of the word, a standard. We've been having a standard for 250 years now.
I know.
And so that standard should still be, but if you look in the last 10 to 20 years, America has basically started to shift. There's a paradigm shift from the standard that we've been going by. Now we're shifting into going and being, oh man, I can't even think of the words for it.
Woke?
Well, besides using the word woke, because I absolutely hate that word. I hate using it. I hate hearing it.
But that's what's happening right now.
But it's almost like a bullying, like social media, when we have all the different social medias that are going on, and one social media does it, and then what happens to the next social medias? They all jump on board. And so if one social media wants to censor Trump or the Democrats or the Republicans or the MAGA or whatever it may be, then every other one jumps on board. And that seems sort of like the shift we're going towards is the White House is doing everything it can to kowtow to one particular small group of people instead of everybody equally.
I agree.
If we look at what's going on nowadays, it's the defeminization of females or the masculinization of females, and then the feminization of males. So the women are becoming more manly, doing more of the men's jobs from in the past, and the men are more feminine. They're doing more of the stay-at-home housekeeping. The toxic masculinity is what has kept us free for this many years. And whoever disagrees with it, that's your opinion. But toxic masculinity has been the one thing that's kept us moving forward, because the men get out there. I mean, how many women out there, honestly, how many women are going to put their hand up and say, I want to be drafted or selective? We don't have drafts anymore, but we have selective service. So the government can tell you at any time.
Hey, can I join? Can I go ahead and
women
coal mine?
Don't want that. Women.
Why would they want to coal mine? Why would they want to build buildings? There's nothing wrong with women that do it, but
there are
a majority of women.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a majority of women are in fields that help people. They're in the nursing field. They're in fields like that. teachers. A lot of them are from, majority female. And what's going on is, I'm going to put it out there. Feminism has literally lost its way. Back in the day, feminism actually meant something. That it meant women were treated unfairly. So a lot of laws and rights were changed to make women equal to men when it comes to pay, when it comes to certain benefits that men got back in the day. And what happened was you had these women out there, these feminists that were trying to make that happen. But somehow they've all become these purple-haired, like man-hating women instead of actually being people who are for women. Like what's going on right now with athletics.
Yeah.
If you are a true feminist, you should be out there protesting right now. Should be out there protesting what's going on with these girls that trained for decades to be the best athlete they could, just for having somebody like me, who is biologically a male, who is just competitively bone structure wise, blood, the way everything flows in the blood, because biological men are curtailed to hunting and to feeding the family and for getting the meat back in the day. So now you have these biological men that are competing against these women, and these women who have trained are losing out on scholarships, losing out on awards, all for a guy who just happened to be a horror. He wasn't even the top. He wouldn't even break the top 200, 300 in men's athletics. And just because there's nothing wrong with feeling a certain way. If you feel internally that you are a female, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you would be considered a transgender, which is fine. The problem is you should be competing against men as a transgender because you are biologically a male, but that's not what's happening. They feel like they're women. They should be competing with women. And all these women are losing sports scholarships and losing so much money, so many awards. And it's horrible. And then all these people that rise up and talk about it and are against these people, all of a sudden they get called a transphobe when they're not really being a transphobe. They're just trying to tell people that it's not fair. It's not fair for a biological male to compete with women. And and how does that affect the veterans? I think deep down what's going on is, like I said, the military is a preparedness, like they prepare for war.
Mm-hmm.
You have these men that don't even know what they are leading these troops. If they don't even know who they are as a person, how do you expect them to lead me or any other soldiers, your son, your daughter, your grandkid? How do you expect them to lead them into war? If something were to happen with China, if something were to happen with Russia, if something were to happen with Cuba, if something were to happen with Afghanistan, Iraq again, and you expect these people that don't even know what they are to lead your child to basically to their death, to their demise, and then they come home in a casket laid with probably not even an American flag. It's probably going to be some kind of some amalgamation of American flag and the rainbow flag together, if the liberals get their way, and that's what's going to happen. And me and Bobby, we've been talking about this, and literally the woke culture, it's what's destroying America from within. I thought it was going to be the Biden administration. From day one, when they shut down that pipeline, I thought, okay, this is already starting off bad. This is going to end. This is going to be horrible. And the last 2.5 years have literally been the worst time in American history. Every time me and my family go out to eat at a restaurant, every time my family and I go out to get groceries, every time my family and I go get gas, it is absolutely horrible on prices.
We were noticing that just recently, that Kroger is usually the cheapest place in Burleson to get any type of groceries. Now, I mean, you've heard me say that we buy our meat and our vegetables usually from H-E-B, or we buy them from Sam's. But the problem is that when you see places like Kroger where they have like the 10 for 10 deals on like soups or something like that, yeah. And now the soups are $4 for a Progresso soup instead of $1.
Yeah.
Then you know that the inflation is really digging in, because we haven't seen this up until recently, where bread is, like $6 a loaf. Eggs,
milk.
Yeah.
Milk is more expensive than damn fuel right now.
It's $4 something a gallon, and
it's incredible. And and it kills me because me and you are well off. we have a good job, or we make decent income where we have a good, healthy, accommodating lifestyle where we go home to a nice home. We have a good couch to sleep on or lay on. We have a good bed. It depends. If you're in trouble with your wife, you'll be sleeping on the couch. But you have a good lifestyle, and a lot of you that listen in know exactly what I'm talking about. You're able to drive from work because you've had a good 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, however many hours. You go home and you go and lay down on your bed, on your couch. You spend time with your family. You can open up your fridge and there's milk there and food there because financially you're okay. Yeah, you might be struggling, but you're okay. But then I feel horrible for these people that work their ass off 8 to 10, 12 hours, earning minimum wage or just a little bit more than minimum wage. And then they go get gas and they have to choose between either getting gas or feeding their children. Not because they're poor. It's because this inflation is just effing horrendous. And then the media, I call it the Clinton News Network, the lefty media, they do nothing about it. They say no questions. They just let it go because financially they're okay like I am. We're okay like Bobby and I. But then you think about all these people that are low income that have to survive paycheck to paycheck. When it wasn't like this just 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You can say whatever you want to say if you're a lefty, but that's not the truth. People were much better off 5 years ago than they are now.
What the hell, Victor? Damn spicy topic. Where's my invite? You're always invited.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You know what?
Victor.
Hold on. Today was going to be a special guest, Bobby Riley. I have no intention of getting anybody else today. Just so you know. I called Bobby and I said, "Hey, Bobby, you know that thing you do with your back rubs and how you make me feel good?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Can you do that to me on the radio station?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely."
Yeah. If anyone even knows out there, if he jerked off a titmouse, that's Angelo. No, but anyway, so yeah, he's right. I mean, the problem we're finding as Americans is inflation is going up, and to get off that word inflation, we're going to use stuff like when you go to buy a house, what's your APR? When you go to buy a car, new or used, what's your APR? Some of these people, they don't have 780 or 800 credit scores. They have 580 or 560. Well, when you have a 580 or 560 credit score and you're trying to buy a house and you're not using the VA home loan, most of you do, I did, he did. So that's an automatic 4.25%. They can't go above that. Now they can go below it, but they can't go above it. But when you talk to these people, like some of the people that moved into our neighborhood recently, they were paying between 7, 9, and 11% interest on their house.
Oh.
And when you don't use the VA home loan, which is 0% down, that's why most people don't like working with the VA home loan, because you have to put 20% down on your home.
Yep.
20% on a $500,000 house, which is what is average in Burleson right now, is $100,000. Now, some of these people's credit score is so bad that they're a risk, and so they have to put 25 or 30% down. You put 30% down on a $500,000 house, that's $150,000.
Who has
$100,000 in the bank?
Exactly.
Who has $100 in the bank? I mean, this day and age, people they don't have their shares or their savings. I mean, the Coinbase, what's it called? Bitcoin and all the Coinbase trading is low. The stock markets are so volatile. They just fluctuate. Julie, my wife, watches the stock markets every day. And some days they're up 500. Some days they're down 750. Some days they're up, 25. Some days they're down 300.
Oh, you good. It's probably one of those kidnapping things. The alerts.
So, that was my wife says she can't see me. Well, Angelo's changing the views on the.
Yeah, look, watch this, people. Oh, look at Bobby's head. Look at that big
fat melon.
See, now, if we turn around and face that way while we're talking, and then pose like this, hey, Julie, can you see us?
The beach is over there.
The beach is over there. Hey, can you point?
We need Victor for that one.
Yeah, where's the gun show? Victor be like
the gun show. Victor's like the gun show's right here. Yeah. Shout out to Victor for doing the Murph.
Oh, anybody have a Band-Aid? I got a little cut right here. That's Victor.
But no, so when you're talking about trying to survive in this world, yeah, of course, Washington and some of these politicians or most of the politicians don't really care, because whether they have a constituency, because each congressman has 750,000 people. Those are his constituents. Those are the people that he represents in his district from his state. But they're making so damn much money. I mean, I hate to say it, but they don't just get the $170,000 or the 200.
Oh, they get paid under the table by
230,000. There's so much money going into these politicians' pockets right and left because of lobbyists. Lobbyists are the reason why these politicians don't really care if the percentages go up on houses or cars, or if your milk is not $2 a gallon, now it's $6 a gallon,
Yeah.
or if your gas goes up to, $4 a gallon. They don't care, because
They don't.
do they pay for gas? No, they have a car service that comes and picks
Yeah.
them up and takes them to
Yeah.
work.
Chauffeur. They get
Yeah.
chauffeured everywhere. They
Yeah.
don't care. And also another point I want to bring up about the constituents. If you are running for mayor, congressman, senator, you have a certain amount of constituents within your area, right? Say hypothetically 1 million people. Half of them voted for you, and half of them voted for your opponent. What's going on in politics is these people, like, we'll say you're a liberal leftist. Sorry to insult you like that, but say you're a liberal leftist. You vote for socialism. You want people to vote for you, and all of a sudden you have all of these people voting for you. These young kids who are idiots. They don't know.
Let's go into reality.
Yes.
Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke,
ran
great example.
for governor last year
on stupid shit that
and
people actually fell for.
He got so many votes that it scared me there for a moment that
he's a panderer though. I call him Puto O'Rourke because he's literally a puto. He's not even Beto. His name is Robert O'Rourke.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at, what's going on is after they win the election, say hypothetically Beto O'Rourke, he curtails his administration and his policies and his agenda towards the half that voted for him. He just completely, or typically it's liberals that do this, they always leave out the other side. Like, for example, Beto, talks about taking guns away. If he was going to be elected, he'd be curtailing his administration towards taking your guns away, not towards the other half who also have guns.
Yeah.
And instead of making common sense laws, he would just be curtailing just like Gavin Newsom's doing right now with California. He's decimating California. People are leaving California in record droves. One of the most beautiful states in our freaking country is being abandoned because this devil, this Satan worshiper, freaking Gavin Newsom, is destroying it because of his policies that are completely anti-American. I'm truly surprised nobody's tried to impeach him yet. No,
he was impeached 2 years ago, or no, a year and a half ago. They had a recall.
That's right, and then they voted him back in.
Talk about stupid.
Well, I mean, granted,
I can't. I was stationed out there.
They want socialism over there.
I was stationed out there at Camp Pendleton for quite a few years, and I loved it. I loved that you had, half an hour you had the beaches, or an hour, LA beaches. You had the mountains, you had the lakes, you had the ocean, you had the, Death Valley desert. You had everything. Vegas was 4 hours away. But there's so many people leaving that if you look around Burleson, my wife and I went to we go to a lot of VA appointments in Dallas. And so we were coming back and it rerouted us through Cedar Hill and not Mansfield, but Midlothian. And they are building just as many of those big buildings as they're building on the side of the highway in Burleson over there as they are over here. I mean, it looks no different. And when you look at it, you see all these companies that you've never heard of. Well, they're companies that are moving their up and coming companies from that area to here because of the taxes, because there's no property tax. I mean, there's no
that's why Tesla moved over here. This is literally why Elon Musk moved his Tesla corporation. Is one of the biggest. He literally owned a gigantic property in California. He sold it all. He's like, I'm done with California.
And Mark Wahlberg recently moved to Florida, but there's several of these Hollywood actors, and they do some executive stuff. They do some producing and stuff like that. So some of these more veteran actors are really deep into doing everything in Hollywood now, and they're talking about trying to make Texas the new next Hollywood.
They're trying to,
but Mark Wahlberg, I think, wants to make. Maybe it wasn't him. No, it wasn't Mom. It was somebody that moved to Nevada, and he wants to make Nevada the next Hollywood. But the problem with making Nevada the next Hollywood is it touches California. So
Yeah.
you can't, it's just like when you get an infection and it spreads from one cell to the next. You got to move a few cells over before you start over again.
I mean, imagine living in California right now, where the property taxes are diabolical.
Yeah.
The living wages is diabolical. The only people that are thriving are rich people.
Yeah.
I was in LA a couple months ago. We were driving down the highway. It was nothing but tent after tent after tent after RV after tent.
Have you seen
literally all the way down the highway? And I was telling myself, I was like, you mean to tell me that the 10,000 tents that I've passed since I've got here, you mean to tell me none of these people have a trade? None of them know how to change car batteries. None of them know how to paint. None of them know how to put drywall in. And then somebody who lives out in California told me it's because they don't want to work. They love that lifestyle. They love
California is giving them
free shit. They want
$1,200 a month free, giving everybody
why they're there.
That's homeless, and
that's why they're there.
They just installed drug vending machines.
Yeah, I know.
In San Francisco.
Crack
what
pipes.
The fuck are we talking about
here? A homeless person can go up to a vending machine. They type in the special code that the government card gives them, and then a crack pipe comes out. A crack pipe
or clean needles or whatever. And I understand the concept of taking dirty needles off the street so that you don't spread,
it ain't gonna happen.
HIV.
It's not gonna stop it. It's not going to stop it. It would be like they try to take guns away. Every city I know that tries to take guns away have the highest crime rates. Because why? Because only bad people have the guns. The good people that decide, you know what, I'm going to obey the law. I'm going to turn my gun in, and them getting shot by people who have guns.
Well, you have to take my gun out of my cold.
I'm going to tell you right now, Texas and other states, especially red states, will never, ever, 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 ever will give up their guns. Police officers, military soldiers, government officials, federal officials, ATF officials, the border patrol people that try to go and say they're on the side of socialism. A lot of them will have a conscientious objection, and they won't do it. They just will not do it because they know America was founded literally on the Second Amendment. And I believe and I predict in the near future there's going to be an uprising where there's going to be a law changed. You're going to have California or some weird liberal state is going to completely ban guns. The Supreme Court is going to say it's not allowed, but they're still going to go through with it anyway.
Well, it's already happening. And I know that it's Canada, but Justin Trudeau this last year,
he's a tyrannical piece of shit.
He banned the possession, the purchase, the selling, or the transfer of any pistol, rifle, hunting weapon. You can't have anything up there. And
I'm surprised
people are like, no, you can have hunting rifles. No, the people that have hunting rifles have them hidden from what I'm understanding. There's all guns are banned up there. You cannot possess them.
I guarantee right now, Canada is probably at all-time crime rates. I guarantee it because all these bad people have the guns while the good people are trying to hide them. And that's what's going to happen everywhere. Guns, just so you know, people, guns do not kill people. It's people mentally ill, deranged, psychopathic people that kill people, or children for that matter. And that's what's happening. And every single time there's a school shooting, and I feel horrible for these children or these college kids or high school kids that got killed, and I feel horrible. But the first thing that I always tell my family is I guarantee the Democrats they're going to make it politicized. Instead of just saying, oh my God, this was a horrible act by a horrible human being who was mentally deranged, they always try to blame the guns every single time. And sure enough, like clockwork, CNN, MSNBC, and every single liberal Clinton news network is always trying to blame the guns when it wasn't the guns.
So if you step back and you take a look, people probably think that me and my wife, and probably you too, are conspiracy theorists, and we should be on that Mel Gibson show, Conspiracy Theory, and we're all crazy. But no, we have our eyes open. We watch and we read between the lines. If you watch all of these school shootings, 99% of them happen when something major hits.
Every time.
Washington, Sandy Hook. There was a major bill passed. I can't remember what it was. I was watching about it the other night, but all of these different things that are happening are just like sleight of hand. Look what's happening over here because, oh, we don't want to look at this over here, but look what's happening over here. Another school shooting. You know, I mean, what 2 months ago we had like 3 shootings in a row.
Yep.
It was crazy. And look at all the stuff that was going on during that time with the Trump. They were trying
Don't even
to
get me started
convict
on that
Trump
type of stuff.
or indict Trump and all that other stuff. So one of my biggest problems right now is that we've got all of these. We'll have to talk about my biggest problems when we come back.
All right. We're going to talk about ED when we get back.
That's Angelo's middle name.
That's my middle name. We'll be right back. This is Vet for Vets, and stay tuned.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered. Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Welcome back. This is Angelo Rocha with Vet for Vets. If you're tuning in, my special co-host and my really special friend with special abilities is Bobby Riley. Okay, so before we get started on the second half of this radio show, I just want to mention that Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. That's tuneinjoco.com. And it's the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store, and then you check out our lineup and more at jococommunityradio.com. Okay, so if you actually want to watch this live or listen to it afterwards, you can actually just go to jococommunityradio.com/tune-in. Okay, just want to bring that up. Anyway, just so you know, this episode and more are brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. That's 844-839-4245. Be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. That's Tiffany Carlin's actual website. So continuing on to the second half. For those listening now or watching now, or for those that are watching this later, because this records, this plays on. You could watch it on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and various other locations. If you are a veteran and you're going through a crisis of some sort, I don't know what it is. There's all sorts of, money, financials,
from
addictions,
deployment, you're having
whatever you're going
spousal
through.
problems.
What you do is, instead of reaching into your cabinet and getting out that handgun, or reaching into that medicine cabinet and getting a bottle of pills, or getting in your car in your garage and then turning on the exhaust system, try to take your easy way out. I'm not trying to give people ideas of how to take themselves out. If you are going through issues, like reasonable issues, people like Bobby and I are here, literally here anytime you need us. Reach out to us and talk to us and say, hey man, I'm going through some stuff. We might not be able to solve your problems. We might not even be your solution, but the thing is, we can take you to the people that know how to help you. People that literally do this for a living, not because they're just trying to make money. It's because they literally want you to live, because they have a passion for people like yourself who are going through issues. One of those ways you can do it is by calling 988. You grab your phone. If you can see me on camera, look right there. See your phone? Everybody's got one. Hey, another camera. Look right behind me. Look, see my phone in my hand? You grab your phone, you type in 988, and you click send. Okay. What's going to happen is you're going to get a phone call, like one of those, press 1 for English, press 2 for Espanol. What you're going to do is you're going to click 1, and then it's going to tell you, are you a first responder, a military, a veteran, all sorts of, they're going to give a litany of things. What you do is you click 1 again. And then what it's going to do is that you're going to be on a little small wait, and then an actual real person like myself. So what's going to happen? This is what it's going to be like. All right, Bobby, we're going to do some role playing. Okay. You're the veteran with issues, like you actually.
Do I need to put the German dress on again?
No, I need you to go put on the pink dress real quick.
Okay.
All right.
The blonde hair or the black hair?
Which one is the one I like?
I'll do the redhead.
Okay.
I'll go redhead.
Okay. So what Bobby say, he has issues going on. We'll say, we'll pick a topic. You're addicted to Tylenol. This is just a test run. Okay. Bobby is absolutely addicted to Tylenol. He thinks that he's going to end up killing himself over it. Not because he's taking it to feel good, because he's in so much pain. He is in so much pain, he just can't do it anymore. He's addicted to his drugs, whatever drugs you want it to be. Bobby, go ahead, call me.
Deep, 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 deep. Ring, ring.
Hola, you have reached the 988. If you're trying to reach,
press that numero uno.
Press 1 for English, press 2 for Espanol. Beep, you press 1. All of a sudden, Bobby is like, all of a sudden, if you are a first responder or a veteran, if you're going through a time crisis, please press 1. If you are a nurse, if you are a fireman, if you are a teacher, if you are, doesn't
it say if you're in a medical emergency, hang up and down?
Yes,
911?
if you're in medical emergency. Yeah. A lot of times this is not an emergency. It's just somebody going through. Emergency is if you actually blew your arm off trying to, put down, some fireworks. That's an emergency. That's different. That's the emergency line. This is a non-emergency, which means it's not something that's hazardous to the health. It's you're looking for help. So all of a sudden you press 1 again. All of a sudden, hello, you have reached 988. This is Angelo Rocha speaking. How may I help you?
One of the things that you need to make deadly clear to these people is that the minute you pick up that pistol and you're holding it in your hand, that is a medical emergency.
Correct.
So if you're calling this number, they will help talk you off the ledge. They will help put some reason into you. But if you've already taken a handful of pills and then you call the number, you might not make it to a point where you can call 911. Yeah. So the thing is that if you are at that point, you need to call 911, have them come pick you up. They will put you in a place where they can talk to you, medicate you, whatever they need to do to make sure that you're safe. And it's no shame. I've been there. I've been there. I've been institutionalized.
Do you know who created the 988 number? A lot of people don't know this.
Who?
Our previous president, the 45th president, and I believe he's still the 46th as well, is Trump.
Yeah.
Because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I feel like deep down the election was stolen because they don't like Trump because he's a billionaire. But anyway, so getting back to what I was saying, I completely squirrel. So I just lost my train of thought.
That's all right. So we want you to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And like I said, I'll be the first to tell you that I was there. I was suicidal for years. Survivor's guilt. I was blown up. I was in pain. I was in a horrible marriage. Everything just came down on me. And every day I woke up, the first thing I thought about was, how am I going to kill myself today? And the last thing, and then all day long I would go and I wouldn't kill myself. And then the last thing I thought about before I drifted off to sleep that night was, okay, how am I going to kill myself tomorrow? And that went on for months and months and years. And I was put in Ward 8 or Ward 7, Section 7 in Albuquerque for about 2 months, and they had to medicate me, and I had to go through therapy. I went through 5 years of therapy, so it's no shame. If you need to talk about your feelings, go through therapy. If you need to, if you're registered with the VA, they will send you to a therapist where you can actually sit at home and do it online, and they'll talk to you, through your computer like Skype or whatever. But in that situation, you need to make sure you speak up because death is permanent. And to die in a battle on the battlefield is glorious. And your memory will live on forever and you'll be buried in Arlington or whatever. But there's no need to have somebody kill themselves at home.
Yeah.
When you probably got 10 or 12 comrades that that were in your unit, or that you knew that you have their numbers, or they're on Facebook and you could just reach out and say, hey, look, dude, I'm going through a hard time. Do you have time to talk? And I think that's the most important thing, is to understand that you can reach out to these people, because you're not the only one feeling this. Everybody goes through this, whether you're 2 years in the Army as a cook, or you did 26 years or 30 years as a SEAL, or you were just some boiler tech on a ship, or, and please don't take offense to me saying just some boiler tech on a ship, but whatever you are, you need to understand that there are people out there that feel the same way as you do, whether they served any combat. I mean, there are people that were in Vietnam on ships that never step foot in the country, that are going through horrible times. They have horrible PTSD.
They never bring that up. Why don't they ever bring that up? The stats about Vietnam vets, that their numbers are just as high as modern day war vets.
They're higher.
They
didn't recognize it. So it wasn't until recently, with this recent war, the Afghan and Iraq war, that they actually started to understand what PTSD is. They called it shell shock in World War I and World War II. And these people would come home and excuse me, sorry. They would be told to just suck it up, go back to work, start a family. And these people would smoke and drink themselves into oblivion and die of liver cirrhosis. And then then the Korean War, and then Vietnam War. And Vietnam War was a political war. That was a war we should have never been into. That France got us into that war in 1955 with Dien Bien Phu. And again, France gets us into everything, but I'll digress. I will talk about France another time, because I hate France. But we should have never been in that war. That was a political war. And if you want to get into deep details, JFK was assassinated, and this is my diehard belief, because he was going to pull troops out of Vietnam. And guess what? The number one moneymaker in the world is
war always profits, because when you're in war, governments are able to tax the living shit out of you.
They're able to get whatever they want.
Absolutely.
They can raise prices on stuff. They can make you, like in World War II, where you had to was it rationing on gas and,
oh my God,
and
companies
and
that built planes, they had to transition into making military equipment, not because they wanted to. It's because the government was like, you're going to do it or else we're shutting you down.
Yeah.
So they were forced to make shells, supplies, materials for the government.
Yeah. So, we get to the Persian Gulf, and the Persian Gulf was a war unlike we had seen, because it wasn't Vietnam. It wasn't Korea. It wasn't, two lines of troops firing at each other, a full all out war. It was more of us trying to push somebody out of someplace and kind of quell something that could have exploded more. And I'm not taking anything away from the Desert Storm veterans. I'm not. Oh. They saw their own horrors.
Man, but it
was a new type of war that we weren't quite capable of understanding at the time. But the VA started to recognize right after 9/11 that these troops are coming home, and it's not just called shell shock. You don't just suck it up and go back to work. You need treatment. You need help. There was people being blown up by IEDs. There was people being, shot up in the middle of the streets in Iraq and Afghanistan, in the mountains of Afghanistan. So the VA has evolved, but it's still, I would say, 50 years behind behind the curve. And that's just my opinion, my
Yeah.
medical opinion. But I think the VA is still 50 years behind
I
where we
believe
should
so,
be now.
because there
Because
are
this should have
parallels.
started back in 1945. Where we're at now should have started in 1945.
Think about the parallels between PTSD involving military and women that have been through trauma. How it parallels how these women that are literally traumatized, they don't want to deal, they don't never want to have a man touch them again. They don't want anything to do with men. They don't even want to deal with any human being. They become introverts because of what happened to them. What's not to say that's happening to
Donald
military?
Trump actually was the one that had pressure on the VA to start to recognize MST, which is
Yeah, he
military
fired. You know,
sexual
you
trauma.
remember when
Yeah.
he was in office, he
Yeah.
fired everybody from the
Yep,
the higher ups.
and he brought that in. I think he started the act in 2018, and I think it finally took seat in 2021, right after he was out of office, is when it finally went through that. Look, the VA is going to start recognizing MST,
Yep.
and if they don't, then we're going to start seeing more and more veterans that are females
Explain to
killing
the audience
themselves.
what MST is.
It's military sexual trauma, and with the VA doesn't they don't MST is the same as PTSD
Yes.
in the VA's eyes. So like if you get raided if you're a woman and something happened to you and you go to the VA and you start to get raided and you go through your CMPs, which are compensation and pensions, and then you're seen and they say, yes, something happened to you,
Yeah.
whether it's in your record or not, because most women don't go and report it because it's by their superior or somebody.
Yeah, the threats are there.
Yeah. So the VA will put into your record that you are diagnosed with PTSD/MST. And in the VA's eyes, they're the same thing.
Which they're not.
They're not. No. And so, like I said, we're still way, way, way in the hindsight right now. We're like 50 years behind where we should be. But go to the VA, talk to them, get rated. Even if your rating is 0%, people don't understand that 0% rating is still being rated, where you can get the help the VA needs. If you don't go in and you don't get rated, even at 0%, the VA can't help you because you're not in the system. When you're in the system, you can go see a primary care doctor in Fort Worth or Dallas or Lubbock or wherever
Yep.
you may be, and you can get the care you need mentally, because I would say probably 75% of the veterans out there have something that they need to go through counseling with. And if you can't get rated or you don't want to get rated, then try to find a counselor on your own that you can go see once or twice a month, to get that off your chest and have somebody you can talk to about it besides your wife. Because a lot of times that the wives don't understand.
And they don't know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And and vice versa for the females. Sometimes the females are married to a civilian and the husband doesn't understand. So it's good that your spouse is able to talk to you if that's a possibility. My wife and I have that, and that's what makes our relationship so amazing, is that we have that ability to talk to each other about this stuff because we're both veterans. But some people out there can't. And so you really need to get out there and get some type of help or treatment, because the 22 a day thing, it's unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary.
They've had record suicides. Normally the number is normally 22 a day. They said right now we're averaging about 27 because of what? Inflation.
Well, and it's not just inflation, it's everything that's going on.
But because of inflation,
Yeah.
a lot of veterans are financially in a burden where they just cannot dig themselves out of this hole, where financially they can't support themselves, their family, their friends, anybody, their businesses. And instead of coping with it, they just take the easy way out. And right now we're averaging about 27 veterans a day.
And one veteran a day is still unacceptable.
One is one too many, I know. Because we have really great people out there. People that are compassionate, people that are empathetic, people that are righteous. We have people that are absolutely wholeheartedly the most amazing people in the world, and they're ending themselves because they feel like they have nobody to turn to when they're having issues themselves, because they were always helping other people.
Whether you were in for 4 years, 2 years, 30 years, 20 years, whether you were able to pick up the next rank or not, whether you were able to become an officer or not, whether you did tire maintenance on Humvees for 4 years, or you were the lug nut polisher, or you were, some type of battlefield commander, it everybody understand that you matter. What you did in the military mattered because we are the largest volunteer military in the world. You can't go anywhere else like China. China's all conscripts. Russia's conscripts.
Yep.
You know, we're the largest volunteers. So what you did mattered.
Imagine all the shitty people we'd have if our military was mandatory for all 18 to 21-year-olds straight out of high school. If it was, you'd have some good ones out there, but we would have so many shitty kids. Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean,
our current generation is very sensitive. Imagine a drill sergeant or a drill instructor just one time is like, get off your feet, private. Oh my God.
On that same note, imagine if all the kids that were going, that graduated, that had to go in the military for 2 years, like Germany does, you know, they either have to go in 2 years. In Germany, you have to either go in 2 years for military, 4 years for their like Peace Corps type of
and
thing,
then you can choose to stay
or you can go to college, but college is really hard. University is really hard to get in Germany, and it's not sports driven, so it's academics driven. But can you imagine if the kids had to go and there wasn't this woke cry society where they had to do it like we did?
A strong society.
Like when we went through, you know, and we were, get on your fucking face, you know, push, or whatever it is, you know, where you get hit.
Yep.
If I think that we're, number one, parents aren't parenting this day and age.
Nope.
They care too much about their kids' feelings.
Here's your tablet. Here's your video game.
They care about hurting their kids' feelings. I can't tell you how many parents we run into that talk about, oh, you know what, our kids get to go to a 1 year or 2 year gap year to figure out what they want to do. Fuck no. You graduate high school. High school is not some type of super fucking celebration. High school is expected of everybody to go to in America. So you go to high school and then you go to the next fucking step. You go to college, or you go to trade school, or you go to junior college, or
military.
You go to the military, or you go work in McDonald's, but sitting in your parents' fucking basement, drinking Dr. Peppers at 30 years old, playing fucking Call of Duty, thinking you're a fucking Navy SEAL.
I can't imagine taking a year off.
Drives me crazy. No, it's like,
I joined the military. I joined the military in the summer before I even graduated. I was a pre-enlistee. Like I had joined in almost after my junior year, just because I wanted to do something for myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I joined the military.
Well, it's important that these children understand that there is a life that is expected of them, and you're not going to just, the society nowadays says everybody gets everything for free, and these parents are just letting their kids just sit at home, and they're paying their car insurance, they're paying their car payment, they're giving them money to go out on. They don't have to work, so they can sleep till like 3 in the fucking afternoon and party till like 5 in the morning. And the parents, they don't want to hurt their feelings.
Nope.
And that's the same with the military. The military is adopted that, where, oh no, we can't hurt your feelings because you might get on social media and say I'm a bad person, or you might do this. I mean, social media has been the downfall of America, because everybody, even if you didn't do anything wrong, you're still held accountable for something. And it's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
Go woke, go broke. That's my I'm telling you, it's happening.
And that was my biggest thing, as I was going to talk about before the break, was that, can you imagine us going into a civil war or going into war with China and having a bunch of kids that have to raise their little red cards because they need a timeout, or they're hiding behind a tree and crying because they can't deal with this. They need a break. They need to hit pause and go home and talk to their mommy. I mean,
I can imagine 100 Chinese soldiers coming at them with bayonets, and they're like, "Hey, red card, hold on."
Yeah, I mean, luckily we've got a great bunch of retired and former military that are more than likely multiple gun owners in the United States, and we're able to, that's why Japan didn't invade California after they hit Pearl Harbor. Their biggest fear is that we are the most armed country in the world
combined,
and they knew. They did their research. They knew how well our hunters could shoot you from, 500 yards or 1,000 yards out with the scope, or some of them even were doing it iron sight. But when you get down to it, and if there was some type of military whatever between
I predict there will be, especially if we keep a socialist in power like we're doing right now. He's not just so you know, if you're a Democrat right now, if you're a liberal and you're listening in, just so you know, there is no such thing as Democrat anymore. You're no longer identified as a Democrat. You are either a socialist or a liberal socialist because of what's going on right now. You are completely blind to what's happening around you. You're choosing to put your blinders on for inflation. You put your blinders on to a president that can even speak I'm an immigrant and I speak better than he does. I guarantee you when I'm 80 years old, I'll probably still speak better than he was at 50 years old.
Do your research, people. Go down that rabbit hole. I'm a big rabbit hole person.
I did that.
Take and look. See, there are people that talk about the cabal. I talk about the cabal all the time. If you think for 1 minute that Joe Biden is running this country, you are greatly misinformed, because Obama, it all roads lead back to Obama. If you think about when they're talking about recently the $2 $5 million payments to the Biden family,
Yep.
Joe Biden was the vice president. What is the vice?
He was the middleman.
What is the vice president's only power?
Yep. Nothing.
There's one power the vice president has. They are the president of the Senate. So Kamala Harris comes rushing in to vote for the Democrats. They're tiebreaker. But with being the president, guess what they get to do? They get to check all the ballots. And if you see something that is fishy, you can send those ballots, those electoral college ballots, back to that state and call for a recall.
Yep.
Pence is a traitor. He should have done that, and he didn't. He said, "Oh,
that's why
I chose the Constitution over Trump."
And that's why January 6th.
Yep.
He didn't want to hurt the Democrats' feelings that he would do that.
because he's an establishment politician.
He is.
Just like George Bush and Obama and Clinton and all of them. Biden, they're all establishment politicians. And I'm probably going to piss off a bunch of Texans listening to this, but if you look at the history, George Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA. He started Halliburton in Oklahoma in 1946, but he was the head of the CIA, and he had in Indonesia this group of people that did all the killing and the hits on it. And the family, the main guy that did it, was married to Barack Obama's mother. Yeah, so George Bush is best friends with Obama. Dude, you have no idea.
You're going there right now.
I go down there.
It's
so you can be mad at me. You can say, "Oh, you're full of shit," but do the research. Go look at the history. History doesn't lie. It's there. You can find it.
Well, that's not true. Democrats are trying to erase history. So technically
erasing it is not, it's still there.
I know, but they are trying to erase history.
Of course they are. They have been.
Let me reframe. Or take back what I just said. They're trying to erase their own history. Excuse me. Everything that everybody knows about Democrats, they're trying to erase because they have such a bad stigma of their past.
You know, it's so funny that they always talk about the MAGA Republicans being
call
racist.
They call us maggots.
Yeah,
maggots.
The MAGA Republicans are racist, and Republicans are racist. But if you go back to the Civil War, who were the predominantly slave owners? They were the rich, liberal Democrat slave owners.
Every single one. The ones that fought against every civil right movement.
They were fighting against everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just we only got a minute left, but make sure you keep your eyes open and you read between the lines. Don't just listen to what the radio and the TV tell you. You know, even Fox News, they're not telling the whole story.
Nope.
You know, so do your research, go look through history, spend a couple minutes familiarizing yourself with just where America's come from, and you'll get a clear picture of where we're going, and it's not good.
I like what you're saying because it's true. If people just looked into the history of how the Republican Party was founded or the conservative movement was founded, they'll see that everything they believed in back in the day, they still believe in today. So this myth that somehow the Republicans and Democrats flipped their agendas or flipped their mentalities, flipped their mindsets is bullshit. It was once again a lie concocted by the Democrats to erase their own history.
Oh man, 2 hours.
I know this got very political, but that's what I wanted.
Next time I'm on, it's going to get even more.
Yeah. This is my special co-host, Bobby. This is Angelo Rocha. Thanks for joining me, Bet for Bets. And I love y'all. Good night.
Night.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio. Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240